A year and a half has passed since the Grand Priest's announcement to the rest of the multiverse, and a year since Amaran's assault in Universe 6. The training continues, and our heroes seemingly only have 6 months left before the start of the inevitable multiversal war. Yes, fellas, it is finally time. Dragon Ball Kakumei is back. Somewhat. The English version of this chapter still hasn't released yet, and the crew has kind of went completely silent on Twitter, so I had to go out and get this translated myself. I hope this video does really well because that was not cheap. When we last left off in Dragon Ball Kakumei at the end of the conflict with Amaran, the casualties on planet Sadala had soared to insurmountable numbers. Kaba, Admiral Ruba, the list seems endless, and this attack precedes the inevitable multiverse war against the Mother of the Angels Kansei, the Banished Destroyers, and the rest of the Dark Angels. But let me not get too ahead of myself. The Grand Priest is slowly losing his grip on the seal he's placed on Universe Zero, with his concentration waning, and in the very first panel of this chapter, we can see the toll this is beginning to take on him. With another 6 months left, he does his best to hold out as long as he can, but what's about to happen today may in fact ruin everything. If you guys are excited for the newest chapter and long-awaited return of Dragon Ball Kakumei, I think we've been on hiatus since, what, like June if I'm not mistaken, then consider leaving a like on the video because the authors also left us a message and update at the end of the issue that I was also able to get translated as well because I love you guys, and don't forget to sub to the channel. Also, you guys have been asking for it, so I am officially opening a Discord server for everyone to be able to join. Please don't make me regret that. This will be linked in the description and the comments. I don't know how long it'll be open to the public, so if you're interested, definitely join as soon as possible. Mind the rules and enjoy. I don't want to have to block your ass, but without further ado, Dragon Ball Kakumei is finally back. The Grand Priest is not in good shape right now. His body is weak and trembling, and we can see from the veins protruding from his forehead that his concentration on keeping his seal maintained on Universe Zero is fading more and more by the day, as evident by his nosebleed. Shall we go? Zeno says to the other as the Omni Kings prepare to make an immediate and shocking arrival. Yeah, let's go, the other one says. All the way from Zeno's palace somewhere in the God Realm, the two Omni Kings transport themselves in the blink of an eye and in a very dramatic fashion directly to the Grand Priest's palace, making things infinitely more stressful for the Grand Priest, Zeno placing himself directly in front of his servant. In case you guys were wondering, this seems almost like somewhat of a game board with how the Omni Kings are traveling, moving themselves like chess pieces and transporting themselves wherever they please, I guess. The Grand Priest is stunned that the Omni Kings and their guards have arrived directly before him so abruptly. Hey Grand Priest, how are you? Zeno says, and we already know where this is going. Unfortunately for the Grand Priest, there's no destroyers or other angels nearby. I hope you're well, the other Zeno chimes in. Shall we play? Damn it, I knew this was coming. Hello to you, the Grand Priest replies with an extremely shaky and nervous voice. He knows that he has to tread extremely lightly here. What do you want to play? He asks. Awesome, the Omni Kings cheer in excitement. Come on, stand up, Grand Priest. The Grand Priest is extremely frail right now due to the stress of keeping up with Universe Zero. He knows he can't oblige with what Zeno wants right now, and declining their wish kinda scares him. He tries to answer Zeno, but this is when they cut him off, saying that they actually have a better idea. Let's organize another tournament of power, one of the Zenos says, probably the worst thing that the Grand Priest could have ever thought to hear right now. The other Zeno cheers in excitement, agreeing that this sounds like a great idea. What do you say, Grand Priest? Yeah, come on, let's do it, the Zenos urge. Oh, one of them continues, by the way, where's Son Goku? That's right, he promised to come see us. But it doesn't matter, we'll see him again during the tournament, they go on. This is when the Grand Priest finally musters up the courage to speak up and says, shouldn't we let them rest? After that first recent tournament, he asks. If we give them time to train, the show will be even more exciting, he struggles to say. Too slow. Yeah, we're getting bored. Speak faster, the Zenos say, unaware or maybe just uncaring about the condition of the Grand Priest right now. At this command, he immediately perks up, but it seems like it's too late. Actually, don't talk. Yes, just get up and come play instead, they tell him. I I can't, the Grand Priest reluctantly says, knowing that he would most likely collapse and lose all control over his seal on Universe Zero should Zeno push him too far, putting him in quite a situation right now. The Zeno's confused now and in return ask, "Oh, so you don't want to play?" Not fun. Can't we play without getting up, the Grand Priest asks, but at this point, Zeno has had enough. "We're not gonna play sitting down, are we?" one of them asks, with the other telling the Grand Priest to give them his hand and they'll help him get up. "It's always better when we help each other, you know?" "Yes, much better than acting alone," the two Zenos say. And these two Zenos sound like demon children or something right now with how they're talking and how threatening they seem upon this visit. All of a sudden, one of the Zeno guards foolishly chimes in, apologizing to the Grand Priest that they weren't able to warn him of Zeno's arrival beforehand, but before he's even able to finish that statement, one snap, and he's gone. Almost as if taking no more than a single thought, Zeno completely erases one of his guards to the shock of the Grand Priest as well as the other guard. Zeno somehow was aware of everything, it seems like. I can explain everything to you, the Grand Priest stutters, but Zeno silences him, saying that there's no need to explain. You chose to handle this all on your own like a grown-up, so be sure you see it through to the end, they say, chastising the Grand Priest, who replies that it's nothing like that. But this is when his punishment is brought down on him as well. With another singular snap, Zeno pops one of the Grand Priest's arms like a balloon, deforming the right side of his body in an excruciating scene here as he immediately keels over and coughs up a troubling amount of blood. And with this, the Zenos take their leave. "Good luck fixing your mess," they mention on the way out. "Yeah, you'll need it," the other one says, leaving the Grand Priest a broken man, struggling to hold not only his mind, but his body together as well. The ramifications of this attack, or punishment, I guess, by Zeno would ripple through the multiverse, causing a significant amount of drop in concentration for the Grand Priest. This would cause the spread of a massive crack within the temporal crystal that was freezing Universe Zero, and that crack would spread all the way to the crystal containing the deities. The first three to be freed were Nisus of Universe 17, Balka of Universe 13, and Twist of Universe 18, two destroyers and an angel. Once freed, it wouldn't take long for the three of them to take action, with Twist saying, "That damn Grand Priest froze us. Who knows how much time he bought with that low blow?" "Well, let's not waste any more time then," Nisus replies, as the three, without so much as speaking more about their plan, all take off in different directions. Back in Universe 6, Vados finally makes an appearance in the aftermath of the extreme carnage that was dealt by Amaran, Dula, and Salaga just months prior, much to the annoyance of Kale and Caulifla, and if I'm being honest, me too. She mentions that it seems this was a tough battle for the Saiyans, but the ones that survived will surely prove useful in the battle to come. Caulifla makes a great point though in asking, if they expect them to help so much and fight alongside the angels, then why not help them against Amaran, who almost rendered the Universe 6 Saiyans extinct? "For you to have a role to play, it's only natural to let the trials sort you out," Vados replies, a really sick way to say that they only need the strongest around for this upcoming war. Kale and Caulifla might disagree, but Vados stands firm on her outlook, making it clear that what's coming is much bigger than just simply life or death. "Someone who can't be useful to us cannot be our ally," she continues, "so consider them an enemy if that brings you comfort." A stressed silence overtakes them before Caulifla asks, "Gods are one thing, but do you really think we can do anything against the angels?" To which Vados replies, "I don't know. To be honest," she continues, "the ones who worry me the most are the darkened angels." "Darkened angels? What do you mean?" the two Saiyans ask. "Oh, that's right. You've never had to encounter them," Vados replies, and then she goes on to explain that angels are instructed, as we know, to always remain neutral and objective, to never take sides out of passion. And when an angel breaks this rule, a black mark spreads across their body, starting from the roots of their hair, then the nails, eventually covering their skin and consuming them entirely from within, leading to their extinction. "I understand, so if they're no longer neutral, that makes them unpredictable and dangerous, right?" Kel replies. "In that case, why isn't the Grand Priest already completely black?" Caulifla asks. "If I understood correctly, what you and Champa explained to us, he made his own decisions against the Omni Kings, didn't he?" A really good question, but Vados explains that the darkening only applies to her brothers, sisters, and her. simply because the Grand Priest and the Grand Priestess decided so at the time of their creation. As for their own origins in this world, that I don't know, she goes on, as another air of silence overtakes the women. Before we move on, I just gotta say, hey, this might break the immersion for a second, but hey, yo, Caulifla got that shit on right now, bro. She look like a Pokemon trainer. Over at the hospital, the doctors are still working tirelessly to do whatever they can to save Chilai, implementing the absolute best technology that they have, as we see her getting stitched up by a machine on a table with Broly asleep at her bedside. After a year, the results of the analysis are finally rather encouraging, the doctor says. At least in the short term. Short term? Why? Vegeta demands. There's still this strange virus, the doctor replies, as on the monitor we can see these little virus nodes resembling doulas still infecting her body. It seems to be made up of energy or an aura, he continues. Unfortunately, the science on this planet has no cure for such an illness. Are you telling me that demon gave her a stupid virus with his own key? Vegeta roars in disbelief. This has gotta be a joke. Quiet, please, the doctor begs, or you'll wake them up. They need to rest. If she dies, no one is gonna be able to calm Broly down, Vegeta warns him. That day, it'll be all of us who have an eternity to rest in peace. So save her, he commands. And then he exits the room and takes a walk down the hall. With everything Vegeta has been through on planet Sadala in the past year or so, it's almost surreal to think that this was nothing compared to the upcoming confrontation. As he walks down the hallway, he thinks to himself, Kaba, Admiral Ruba, Lyric, Chilai, and who will be next? How many Saiyans have already died for a meaningless battle in the face of the true threat that is inevitably approaching? Unfortunately, the number of casualties is already too much to even keep track of. Almost 90% of the Saiyans, 87% to be exact, on planet Sadala would be killed from the attack by Amaran. Only a few handful of people remain able to fight now. Most of the other survivors have either fled or taken refuge. Vegeta has every reason to worry. The end and heavy toll of this battle marks nothing more than a tiny step towards the beginning. Elsewhere in the multiverse, as the chapter comes to a close, we check back in on what the evil deities are up to. Balkan has found a Super Dragon Ball, Twist has arrived in the Demon Realm, and Nisus is overlooking none other than planet Sadala in Universe 6 as the first step in the true war commences. Planet Sadala and Vegeta cannot catch a break, man. We might need to see Kefla again soon at this point, or make a Vegeta and King Sadala fusion. I don't know. Leave your suggestions down below in the comments, because I don't want to see Planet Sadala get wiped out in the next coming issues. On the final outro page of this chapter of Dragon Ball Kakumei, the team is going to leave a message to all of us saying that all remaining volumes are on the way, and they're even recruiting voice actors for the dub whenever they do finally get Kakumei animated. They're close to reaching the 10,000, I think this is euros if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, fellas, sorry. And finally, they're going to mention that for Christmas, they're preparing a special surprise to pay tribute to French manga. A couple of updates regarding Kakumei, nothing too major, but it seems like the team is back and the consistency that we're used to will return. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and once again, sorry this took so long, but I had to kind of go out of my way to do this. I had to find my own translator, and this wasn't promoted anywhere, so I didn't even know that the French version was up. But anyways, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Have a fantastic day, fellas, and as usual, all of the creators of Kakumei will be linked down below in the description box. I'm gonna see you fellas in the next one. Bye, guys.